Segment with personal injury attorney Stewart Vance from the Vance Law Firm here in our studio, waiting to answer your legal questions live on air. As always, we tell our viewers you are a personal injury attorney. What does that mean? That
means we help people who have been injured by no fault of their own, whether a mild injury, a fender bender they have questions about, or a catastrophic, death case. We do those as well. Everything in between, so it's worth calling, if nothing else, to find out what options you may have, if any, and we can answer those questions 24/7, every day, all day.
We've had a couple of viral videos in our area recently involving animals, a kangaroo, the latest, an alligator, and then on a more serious note, we do see a lot of deer and other animals along the sides of the roadways. How does that work when it comes to a case? So the kangaroo, for say, or let's say there's a large dog that runs in front of your car and it's someone's pet.
This is one of those what if questions or it depends questions. What happened? And I'll use the kangaroo for example. Clearly a kangaroo isn't normally on the interstate, so it could be a different type claim possibly than a deer. A deer is a wild animal, it's out there. There's no claim available for a deer jumping out in front of you or you hitting a deer. If something that's not supposed to be there is there because someone's negligence of letting it out, there would be an insurance claim.
Now, what about like in our rural areas? We have a lot of farmers, horses, cows.
Right. There's specific laws about livestock.
Okay.
Again, which is different than the alligator, the kangaroo, or the dog, or the deer. So it's I say it often. It depends. Call and ask, because all those things are facts that could make or break a claim. The deer, there are no claims for a deer. Wild animals, farm animals, it depends. There's city ordinances that if someone's keeping livestock within the city limits or within the police jurisdiction, I think is the way the ordinance reads, they are liable whether they knew the cow got out or not.
Because I'm sure that happens a lot.
Yes, but farmers who out in rural areas, they just have a duty to sort of mend their fences. If one gets out and they can show that they did what they needed to do. Yeah, then they're not responsible. So great, that a cow, depending on where it is, could be a valid claim or a non-valid claim for insurance purposes. So same thing with deer. Not with deer, but with kangaroos and alligators. The alligator's probably going to be more along the deer line. The kangaroo could be more along the livestock. Why? Who's keeping it? Why is it out? Those kinds of questions can make a difference.
We actually have an online viewer question. We always tell you can submit your questions online. This comes from Jacob from Andalusia. He says, my 18-year-old son was in an accident last year. He was turning left when the driver hit him, going 15 over the speed limit. Insurance initially labeled no fault, and then the other party sued. My insurance settled out of court, but now the driver is suing my son personally for more than $25,000. Is this legal? What are my options? Is this legal? Can someone do that after a settlement?
Again, it depends, and I don't mean to give you that short answer. It shouldn't be, because a settlement would encompass and should encompass any and all claims forever and ever. So if they accepted the insurance money of $25,000, they would have signed a release, and that release should cover any additional claims. Now, that's not to say somebody could have gotten a settlement, felt like it wasn't enough, and then later, without talking to an attorney, go file something individually, but the defense should hold. So he should contact his insurance for his son and his policy. That insurance, part of you having an insurance policy means your insurance company will defend you if you're sued, whether you believe it's valid or not valid, whatever. If you get sued anytime you've got car insurance, please call your adjuster, call your agent. They're going to defend you, because part of you having insurance, we always talk about the other side, who's paying, but there's also a portion that if someone sues you that you think is absolutely frivolous, completely you were in the right, they were in the wrong, your insurance company will hire a lawyer to defend you in that claim. So that's what I would recommend, is reach out to your insurance company. That settlement should have covered all that, and that claim should be dismissed based on what I know now.
All right, we're going to answer some of your legal questions here on air. Go ahead and give us a call. For now, we're going to check in with Amanda.